Socialism promises equality, but what it delivers time and again is control, collapse, and coercion. And here's the part most people overlook. Do you really believe those who have the means to leave won't? They will. They always do. Not just the ultra-wealthy with offshore accounts and private jets. Even the middle class, those with modest savings, a little foresight, and just enough resources, know when it's time to go. They see the signs, they hear the rhetoric, and the moment their country, city, or community starts drifting towards socialism, they quietly begin to exit. They sell their homes, they liquidate their businesses, they move their families, because they understand something the average citizen doesn't. Once the system flips, there's no refund, no reversal, no safe zone. And who's left behind? The paycheck to paycheck majority. The ones who couldn't afford to leave. The ones who believed the slogans. The ones who thought the system would protect them. But the system doesn't protect. It controls. It coerces. And it collapses. As the world grapples with economic and social inequality, socialism has rebranded itself as a moral solution. Free healthcare, free education, free everything. But nothing is truly free. Someone pays, and under socialism, it's usually the people. Let's start with the basics. Socialism isn't one size fits all. From Venezuela to Cuba, China to Russia, socialist systems wear different masks. But they share one thing in common: centralized power. And centralized power doesn't just mismanage economies. It suppresses dissent. It erodes freedom. It replaces voluntary exchange with forced compliance. Crowd murmurs, because once you see the pattern, you stop believing the slogans. The failures of socialist regimes aren't just about human nature. They're about bad economics. They're about authoritarianism disguised as compassion. They're about governments that accumulate debt without understanding the difference between productive debt and destructive debt. Productive debt builds infrastructure, stimulates growth, creates jobs. Destructive debt, it funds bloated bureaucracies, endless welfare programs, and political vanity projects. It's the kind of debt that leads to inflation, currency collapse, and poverty. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most government officials, analysts, and self-proclaimed economic experts get it wrong about 98% of the time. The only people who truly understand economics are those who run successful businesses. People who know how to cut costs, turn a profit, and survive competition. Socialism removes that competition. It replaces innovation with stagnation. It replaces merit with entitlement. And it replaces accountability with ideology. Let's talk about Venezuela. once one of the richest countries in Latin America. Now a cautionary tale: hyperinflation, food shortages, political repression, all in the name of equality. But here's what most people never see. The rich didn't wait to be taxed. They moved their money, they moved their assets, they moved themselves. And it wasn't just the ultra-wealthy. It was the middle class, the ones with just enough foresight and just enough resources to escape. They sold their homes, liquidated their businesses, and left before the regime could tighten its grip. What's left behind? A population trapped, stripped of options, watching the promises of equality turn into ration lines and surveillance. Cuba, 60 years of socialist rule, still rationing basic goods, still silencing dissent. China, a hybrid model, authoritarian control with capitalist incentives. But don't mistake economic growth for freedom. Ask the Uyghurs, ask the dissidents. Russia, post-Soviet scars still linger, and the centralized mindset never truly left. Socialism thrives on class struggle. It pits groups against each other, workers versus bosses, poor versus rich. It fosters resentment, and resentment is a powerful tool for control. But here's the twist. The elites who push socialism rarely love under it. They preach equality from gated communities. They demand redistribution while hoarding influence. Crowd applause rises, then fades. This isn't just about economics. It's about psychology. It's about how people process promises versus reality. It's about how slogans override logic. Free sounds good until you realize it comes with surveillance, rationing, and repression. History doesn't care about your feelings. It cares about results, and the results of socialism are written in blood, debt, and decay. Challenge your assumptions. Ask more, learn more.